Two Geeks, Two Beers and a Laptop. Episode 7, Tremors.
That's how they get you. They're under the goddamn ground.
Well, hello, welcome to the latest episode of Two Geeks, Two Beers and a Laptop with me, Tom and Morgan.
Hello.
Today we'll be talking about the, I'd say, forgotten gem of a horror film, B-movie horror film from 1990, Tremors. What do you know about Tremors?
I know a little bit about Tremors, but I'm not entirely sure I've even actually seen it. My brother absolutely loves Tremors. It's one of his favourite movies of all time. He absolutely loves it. He talks about it all the time, and I might have sort of got to the stage where I've lied to him and told him I've seen it, even though I'm not entirely sure I have. I might have seen it when I was very little, possibly too little, but I don't have any decent memories of it. I know it's got Kevin Bacon in it, but then, you know, it's the 80s, sort of late 80s, early 90s. Kevin Bacon being in a film is a fairly...
Doesn't sell it very well either.
Also, it's a fairly, you know, surefire thing. And I think it's about, like, giant sandworms under the ground or something.
Yeah, they're huge worm-like creatures called Graboids.
Graboids.
Which is a bit of a shit name, but it's kind of what they come up with, the characters themselves come up with it.
Right.
Perfection. A scorched outpost in the middle of nowhere.
You know how close I am to leaving this place right now? How close?
Maybe that's why Val and Earl decided to leave town.
Hey, hold up. That's Edgar Deems.
They just picked the wrong day to do it.
Jeez. You guys better get the hell out of here. There's a killer on the loose. Who could be doing it?
Is that a snake?
I'll give you boys $5 for this. 20.
What the hell are those things? How could they eat a whole station wagon?
But where do they come from?
I vote for outer space. No way these are local boys.
You see, they're headed right for us.
No Richter scale can measure it.
They're coming!
No scientist can explain it.
Bert, they're under the ground.
You didn't get penetration even with the elephant gun.
Run, run!
And no one knows what to call it.
Megaworms or suckers or suckoids.
Now this valley is just one long smorgasbord.
Now, it's up to Val and Earl to save the world.
That's one big mother.
Who died and made you Einstein?
And they know just what to do. Flip for it.
Damn.
Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, Tremors.
So, in 1990, it takes place in a fictional town called Perfection in Nevada. It's like a desert place.
Right.
And only one road leads out of it. It's got a population of 14.
14?
Yeah, 1-4. It's it's like a Hickville. But I've realised by looking on, you know, on Wikipedia, well, you get official Wikipedia, and then you get the like wikis,
Fan wikis.
Yeah. And pretty much everything you can think of has their own little fan-made thing.
Yeah.
Tremors has one which is just so like detailed and incredible. The amount of information I could find.
It's a little franchise, isn't it? So people get really invested in these things.
Yeah. But the first film is obviously the best as ever in these sort of things, and it stars Kevin Bacon as Valentine.
Amazing.
That's his name.
What the hell's going on? I mean, what the hell is going on?
And Fred Ward. Do you know Fred Ward? No,
can't say I do. He's not jumping out at me.
His name is Earl in this. And they're both handyman. But the thing about Fred Ward, which I find hilarious, I'm just going to talk about this now, is that I'm certain I've seen him in at least 3 or 4 films where his name is Earl. And yet
he's playing a character called Earl?
Yeah, he wasn't in My Name is Earl, which is quite
Is this like the character, what's the guy from Fast and the Furious?
Oh, the Hector.
He's this actor. What's the name? I'm going to look at the name of that actor. He always plays characters called, basically, he's basically always...
Mexican crony.
He's a classic Mexican crony.
Yeah.
And he's basically always called Hector.
And he came back in the latest Fast
He came back in
Furious,
Fast and Furious 7, which was amazing.
I always kept in touch with Vin from part 1, and so I know that they were battling for me to try to come back on.
Hector.
Yeah, what's up, man? It's a blessing, you know, to be back and have a character that was so remembered. I'm like, man, finally they brought Hector back. What's up?
Noel No Guglielme. I'm sure that's authentic
Big star.
Spanish Mexican pronunciation.
Weren't
No
you
Guglielme.
in Comic-Con or something?
I saw him at Comic-Con. He had his own little stall. I wanted to go up and say hello to him, but I didn't. But I felt bad afterwards. So that guy, he's always Hector, and this guy Fred Ward is always Earl.
So, right, he was in Sweet Home Alabama, and his name was Earl.
Okay.
Earl Smooter.
Right.
He was in Road Trip, he was called Earl Edwards, and Tremors, obviously Earl Bassett.
Do you think...
Well, okay, only 3 films, but still, 3 different films, which are really, relatively big in their own way, and it was called Earl in every single one of them. Is that an in-joke? Or...
I like the idea that maybe it's all, again, another shared universe. Yeah. And that Sweet Home Alabama is part of the Tremors universe. Like,
maybe it is.
Yeah.
Run for it. Runner's not a plan. A runner's what you do when the plan fails. Valentine, you're not even trying to think of a plan.
But essentially, the general plot is they're handymen who are desperate to leave because it's a shit place to live, but soon people start dying. And they don't know why, and then they realise eventually these huge worm-like creatures which they call Graboids. And the great thing about it is it's just B-movie fun, but it was quite scary in the same way. And again, as you were saying earlier, you might have seen it as a kid. I think back then I just seemed to watch these sort of
films that you shouldn't have.
Like Total Recall, with the 3-boobed lady.
That was
things
a
like
childhood
that.
treat.
And I don't know how I was allowed to watch these films. Whereas nowadays, kids are probably just used to that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's totally
with the advent of the internet, Tom, kids see all sorts of things. A 3-boobed lady is the least of parents' concerns these days.
Thanks. I'll wait for Melina.
Earth slime.
Oh, and the best character of Tremors is this guy called Bert, played by what's his name, Michael Gross. He was a weapons expert and survivalist.
Broke into the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you, you bastard?
With his wife, played by country singer Reba McEntire.
Of course.
In her only role, as far as I'm aware, in anything.
She had her own CBS sitcom a couple of years ago.
Oh, Reba.
Reba.
It was her first role then. That's what it was.
Making her feature film debut is country music superstar Reba McEntire.
The very first day I was here, we did the master shot of a scene in town when we first found the monster. I was down there and I was looking at the monster and I had 2 lines. I said, it stinks too. Stinks too. But at the end of my scene, he said, that's a take. I went, yeah, I did it.
But eventually they get the Graboids and whatever, all is well. What I find funny is at the time, Kevin Bacon said that this was a career low. And that's coming from Kevin Bacon, who's now famous for doing his...
He's flogging EE, isn't he?
Yeah.
He does EE
4G.
Yeah. Kevin Bacon. Career low.
Lowest ebb.
Dougie Pointer. Ken Barlow. The Rovers. You watch those EE adverts, and his mouth is smiling, but his eyes are sad, aren't they? He looks like he's crying inside, Kevin Bacon.
Hey, I'm Kevin Bacon, star of A Few Good Men, Tremors, Footloose, but I'm not here to talk about Kevin Bacon, Hollywood A-lister. I'm here to talk about Kevin Bacon, center of the universe. Some time ago, I realized that I was connected to everyone in the world, and I mean everyone. I was in Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks did Philadelphia. Philadelphia tastes great on a cracker. It's a cracker was Frank Carson's catchphrase. Catchphrase was on ITV, same as Coronation Street, and we all know where Ken Barlow drinks. The Rovers.
I mean, I don't want to diss him because you know, he's one of those guys where I've got nothing against him. He seems like a nice guy.
So he retroactively bashed Tremors?
No, he said at the time...
He thought it was a career.
He said, I broke down and fell to the sidewalk, screaming to my pregnant wife, I can't believe I'm doing a movie about underground worms.
But to be fair, he might have done that since. He might have done that about the EE movies, EE ads. Yeah. He might have done it about The Following, which is dreadful. Yeah. You know, he might have done it about Hollow Man. We don't know. He might have a breakdown every single time he does a shitty project.
The question is, what would you do if you knew you couldn't be seen?
You have no idea how much fun this is.
But the reason I wanted to talk about Tremors really isn't just the first film, which is great and culty and all that kind of stuff. But it's because, like the episode we did about...
freaky franchises.
Yeah, this was a perfect one. Because during the episode, whilst we were recording, I suddenly thought Tremors. I thought, that'd have been a really good one. So I might as well do it now. So that came out in 1990. It was very popular, did very well, did better than expected.
Like you say, it got a bit of a cult following, slow burn.
So you think, well, clearly we're going to do a sequel.
Clearly.
But for some reason, it only went direct-to-video straight away.
Right, when what was it, Anaconda 2, Hunt for the Blood Orchid can get a cinematic release.
15 years later.
But Tremors 2, how
So, 96 that came out, so 6 years.
6 years.
But still, it was called Aftershocks.
Right.
Direct-to-video, Bacon wasn't back though.
No Bacon.
No, he never comes back.
No.
But Earl's back. He's the main guy this time.
Okay.
This time, there's an infestation of Graboids and Mexican oil fields. So they're like, who do we get to rescue?
Okay.
Earl, that handyman, because he was there when the first ones happened.
Cool, so it's not like Die Hard where bad shit keeps happening to John McClane. They bring him in as the Graboid expert. Okay.
Yeah, and he also got Bert back to help him, this weapons guy.
Okay.
They lay dormant for years, waiting for the chance to appear once again. Now, they're back, and they'll find you no matter where you try to hide. And only a team of dedicated professionals can stop them.
We need someone, an expert, to eliminate these creatures, to go graboid hunting.
This time, they're prepared.
Preparing to fire. You smoked his ass.
Doing what I can with what I got.
This time, they're motivated.
50,000 for each graboid. You've got a deal.
This time, they're one step ahead.
Get off the ground!
Tremors 2, Aftershocks. Starring Fred Ward, Michael Gross, Christopher Garten, and Helen Shaver.
Damn worms never cut you any slack.
But this time, it wasn't just graboids. They kind of morphed into these weird things that they called Shriekers.
Right.
Which apparently is the second life cycle of
a graboid.
The graboids.
Okay.
And this
like
time
a Pokemon.
Yeah. and they spawn legs.
Okay.
They can run around. They're like these, 4-foot creatures.
Right. Now, see, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Because, sometimes...
It's a very bad thing.
Yeah. Because, I love, for example, like Alien and Aliens, but then later on in, like, Alien Resurrection, they try and, create new twists.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Alien Resurrection?
Which one was that?
That's the fourth one.
I think I have.
Where,
I don't remember anything about it.
Where basically, at one point, they create, like, an alien-human crossbreed, but it just looks like a shit monster. It looks like... And I don't mean, like, a shit monster. It looks like a monster composed of shit. Like, it's actually, like, human fecal matter. It's dreadful. So sometimes when they try and tweak these like classic designs, it doesn't go well.
Look, it thinks you're its mother.
On side note, do you say they're getting rid of Aliens 3 and 4? Is that not existing anymore?
Well, the rumour was the guy who directed District 9. He's going to do.
He hasn't done a good film since.
He hasn't done it. Everyone loves it. Yeah. He hasn't actually.
He's a new M. Night Shyamalan man.
Yeah. Hang on. What's this guy's name? I'm going to look him up.
Neil Blomkamp, I think.
Neil Blomkamp. That's the guy who he made District 9, which
you don't like.
I hated it. I thought it was. Everyone loves District 9, and I just thought it was like really simplistic and stupid and sort of borderline racist. But everybody else loves him. Since then, he made I think it was Elysium, which wasn't all that great.
No.
Chappie,
which
mixed reviews, but people are still very excited by this guy. Like you say, he's like M. Night Shyamalan. People are like, maybe he'll make another Sixth Sense.
For him to have a comeback.
Yeah,
well again,
but he's only made one good movie, and so anyway, this guy is going to make Alien. I don't know, the new Alien
12,
Alien 12 or whatever. But he's going to have it set after Aliens, so erasing Alien 3 and 4. A bit like how, Dawn of the Dead had two different sequels going on to two different timelines with Day of the Dead and Zombie 2, so the Alien franchise will diverge.
But, so, you're saying it died, so they just don't exist, but they're saying, don't worry about it.
Well, no one's going to be that bothered if you erase Alien 3 and 4. I mean, the diehards might be, but like the general public will happily forget Alien 3 and 4.
X-Men did it the best by getting rid of the third one by changing the timeline.
They changed the timeline, which there's a little nerdy explanation there, which we all enjoyed.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
But again, when I was looking at these Wikipedia pages, there's these detailed explanations of the life cycle of these graboids, and the science behind it, and I don't want to read it all off at this point.
How much of this is dictated in the movie, and how much of this is fan invention?
As far as I'm aware, a lot of it is said in the movies, but I think they've obviously tried to write it as if they're scientists. And stuff. But each graboid can spawn 6 Shriekers, give or take.
Okay.
And again, on the Wikipedia, they're like, much like how blah 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 does in real life.
Right.
So the Aftershocks, it did okay.
Yeah.
Considering it was only a direct-to-video thing, there was quite good reviews. I remember at the time, a lot of reviewers were saying why didn't it get released to cinemas? It was perfectly fine.
Yeah, better than Hunt for the Blood Orchid.
Yeah. When we were talking about all those other direct-to-video ones last time, when the film franchises won, it was clear that they were just beyond dreadful.
Yeah, shoddy, low production values, but this was good enough that it could have gone to the cinema.
So that was that one. Then it starts getting a bit shit.
Okay.
With, in 2001, Tremors 3, Back to Perfection.
But again, nice. I like that little pun. But again, that gap of 5 years. Why such a big gap?
I know. But there must be, again, like we said before, big enough.
There must be an
fan
audience
base.
for it.
Yeah. But the good thing about this one was that there were several characters from the first film that came back.
Oh, okay.
Not Earl. Earl's gone now.
Even Earl's gone.
So Bert's now the main character.
Bert, the survivalist guy.
So he's the main
Okay.
one. But they've brought back all the minor characters that survived the first, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
In Perfection, Nevada,
Go, go!
there's a whole lot of shaking going on.
Graboids!
Can't run a business where your customers get eaten.
Tremors 3, Back to Perfection. This time, they've mutated into the perfect killing machine.
Great. Graboid? Are you kidding? For real?
Now, only one team can stop these beasts. Michael Gross returns as Bert Gummer, obsessed survivalist.
And people call me paranoid.
Jack Sawyer, trusted sidekick.
You do know which end the bullets come out of?
I've seen movies.
Jody Chang, second-generation grocer.
So this is really serious.
I keep trying to tell you.
These three warriors face the ultimate challenge. Tremors 3, Back to Perfection.
That's why we're at the top of the food chain.
But this time, annoyingly, they used CGI for the first time, whereas
why?
the first two films it was all like puppets and animatronics, and,
Yeah.
and you know, quite lifelike stuff. I remember watching it at the time, thinking, "Christ."
Well, I'm of the opinion that prosthetics and puppets, even if they don't look 100% real, just by having some sort of physical presence, they will always look more real than CGI.
Because they made this massive Graboid monster thing, it looked as real as it could look.
Yeah, it's literally there.
When it's a CGI thing, it's just like, well, that's going to go that's going to look bad within a year.
Yeah.
I will put a photo up of said Graboid. But this time, in the third film, this is the third stage of their life cycle.
Oh god, okay.
Where they turn into bird-like creatures with wings.
Why tamper with something that works?
Why can't you just leave it? But
if the Graboids ain't broke, don't fix them.
They call them ass blasters.
Ass blasters, right? Okay, so they're really just taking the piss at this stage.
So now it's got to the point where, because the first film was B-movie territory and silly, but it had a certain essence of realism and scares. There were some scenes in it where characters got killed, which were still quite haunting. Whereas now it's got to the TV sci-fi, Sharknado brigade.
And when you've got the CGI in there, like I was reading recently about Rick Baker, who's like the famous Hollywood sort of makeup guru, and he did everything from like American Werewolf in London and
he died recently, didn't he?
No, he's still alive.
Is he?
His career died.
Oh,
that's your mistake. His career died. But he did all this great stuff. Nutty Professor, even he did like the makeup for that, and it's just like Men in Black. He did all this great stuff, and he's been forced into retirement. Still alive.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, still alive.
I heard something about him.
But yeah, and so dodgy CGI is just forcing these great gurus of prosthetics and makeup out of the business.
He's just gone, I can't be arsed anymore, there's no point.
I don't blame him.
So that's number 3. I suppose now it's good to go to the TV series, which came out the same year and was made at the same time as the third film.
See, I was vaguely aware there were some Tremors sequels. No idea about the TV series.
I hadn't seen any of the TV series. So this, again, Bert is the main character.
Oh, so Bert is back?
Yeah, so
the TV show.
The TV show was filmed at the same time as the third film.
Right.
So with all the same characters.
Okay, so it wasn't that Bert was too good Bacon style for Tremors. He was just like, I've got my own TV spin-off.
Exactly, yeah.
Sort of like he's the Coulson, Agent Coulson of the Tremors franchise.
He became the breakout character,
yeah, okay.
Meet the locals of Perfection, Nevada. There's Bert Gummer. He's always ready for anything.
Yo comprendo loud and clear.
Ex-NASCAR driver Tyler Reed moves fast, especially when it comes to Rosalita Sanchez. She's easy on the eyes, tough on most everything else. Of course, you also got your Graboids, Shriekers, and Ass Blasters. Yep, we got all kinds around here. Pay us a visit on Tremors, the series, coming in 2003. On Sci-Fi.
I don't know where Reba McEntire went. She just sort of, she could have done it.
Yeah, she.
When was Reba on?
Oh, like last year.
Oh, she could have done.
Maybe she was just touring her country music.
Maybe, but the TV series had Christopher Lloyd in it as a character called Cletus.
Wow, okay, this has got a better cast than Back to Perfection.
Yeah.
And he's like, we gotta get those Graboids, Bert. We gotta get those. It's that kind of thing.
But it aired on the Sci-Fi Channel back when it was the Sci-Fi Channel before it went to Syfy, wherever it is.
The Syfy Channel.
But for some reason they aired the episodes out of order.
Ugh.
They did a thing where they had episode 1 and 6 on opening night. So then the producers or the writers had to go, oh, fuck! So they had to like rewrite everything and rejiggle it, and so it never went down well because it didn't play properly.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It was like Firefly. Do you hear about the thing about Firefly where they made a pilot, then Fox were like, oh, actually we don't like this pilot, make us another episode that will function as a sort of introductory episode. So Joss Whedon made episode 2, which still kind of introduces you to the characters and the premise.
Yeah.
And then later on, they decided to air the pilot of Firefly, the original pilot, halfway through the series.
Why?
So not only did it then have 2 opening episodes, but they aired it like as like episode 6. It made no sense. Which is why Firefly got cancelled. One of many reasons why Firefly got cancelled. We'll do a Firefly episode at some point.
Yeah, I did a job. I got nothing but trouble since I did it, not to mention more than a few unkind words as regard to my character, so let me make this abundantly clear. I do the job. And then I get paid.
Yeah, so the TV series aired for 1 season of just 13 episodes.
Oh, okay.
But then after that, the following year was Tremors 4, The Legend Begins.
Oh, prequel?
It's a prequel.
Prequel.
And it's set in the 1800s.
Wow, okay, it's a proper prequel.
And it's set in the same place as the first one, but it's back when it was called Rejection.
Okay, nice.
And it's Michael Gross is back, playing Bert's great-grandfather.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
And it's all about just how it all began, really. But the cool thing was, I haven't seen this film, I'll say that now, but it ended with the town deciding to keep it all a secret. Because the point was, in the first one, they
don't know what Graboids are.
But they kept it secret because they want people to settle in the area and to have money and shit. Sure. So they were like, okay.
On January 2nd, unexplained noises, unusual disturbances, and unnatural sounds will finally surface.
They're coming!
Now, to battle the worst of the worst.
Are they following us?
This small town will recruit the best.
You're gonna hire a gunfighter.
Who might you be, sir? Black Hand Kelly?
Tremors 4, The Legend Begins, the exciting feature-length prequel to the smash hit Tremors, starring original cast member Michael Gross.
We stand our ground and fight to the death.
With extras you can't miss.
You missed with a cannon! Was that them?
Tremors 4, The Legend Begins. Own it on DVD and video January 2nd.
I'm sure it's shit. It probably looked awful.
But they put a little thought into it.
Yeah. And then this year, Tremors 5.
What?
Yeah.
Tremors 5?
It's coming out in October.
This is again with like the freaky franchises. Like these things where like the Scorpion King franchise is still somehow going. How is Tremors still going? So that's 25 years of Tremors movies.
Yeah. But no one would know, unless you're a Tremors nut.
No.
I don't know why you would... Again, but they must know that there's Tremors fans out there.
Clearly.
But I'm guessing this is straight to DVD or
straight
whatever.
to Netflix or something.
But it's called Tremors 5 Bloodlines. Michael Gross is back again as Bert. But this time it takes place in South Africa. So there you go. And he's been brought in to battle the Graboids and the Ass Blasters with a tech-savvy newcomer played by Jamie Kennedy.
Oh my god.
Jamie Kennedy hasn't done anything for years, has he?
No, Jamie Kennedy is a man who doesn't have career lows. His whole life is one big low, Jamie Kennedy. Well, no, Jamie Kennedy...
He's in Scream and he was pretty big in that one.
And he was pretty good in Scream.
He came back...
He's in Scream 2.
Yeah, and then
he gets killed in Scream 2.
And he comes back via a video
in Scream 3.
Scream 3.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he's great in that. But like...
Then he had, the Jamie Kennedy Experiment?
The Jamie Kennedy Experiment, something like that, which was like a terrible prank show. He was in Ghost Whisperer, opposite Jennifer Love Hewitt. Jamie Kennedy. Never quite had for him. Oh, of course, he was in Son of the Mask. Which routinely wins polls as being the worst movie ever made. So even if Tremors 5 is, and I'm sure it probably is, atrocious, it still won't be the worst, the worst movie on Jamie Kennedy's CV.
But surely, wouldn't you feel sad if you're Jamie Kennedy? Because at one point you were, a relatively big star, and now you're having to do Tremors 5 and be the second to Michael Gross.
Yeah, but at one point Jamie Kennedy was dating Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Was he?
Yeah. While they were on Ghost Whisperer. So don't feel too sorry for Jamie Kennedy is all I'm saying.
Very strange.
This February, one mask fits all. Jamie Kennedy.
Honey, I think it's time we trade up.
Alan Cummings. And introducing Otis as Otis the dog. Son of the Mask.
But what I like is in 2009 there was a sci-fi TV movie which, as far as I know, no one said it's a rip-off anywhere, but it's clearly a rip-off of Tremors, called Sand Serpents.
Okay.
And it's just about...
But wait, Sci-Fi? Sci-Fi had Tremors the TV show. Why would they need to rip off Tremors?
I know. And it's apparently... This might be a future episode. The 17th film of the Maneater series.
Right, well, this
Whatever
should have
that
been
is.
the Maneater series. This should have been in our freaky franchise.
Yeah.
What the hell happened? Where did they all go?
I have no idea.
These soldiers are about to discover
There's something out here. I heard it.
their greatest enemy
Did you see that?
What?
Something moved.
is the one they never expected.
What the hell was that? I think it's coming back.
Hold back! How many of these things are there? One was enough. We got incoming!
Okay, I've got it. The Maneater series.
Yeah, okay, go on.
Yeah. So it's a series of made-for-TV natural horror films, produced, of course, on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Is it all the same characters, or is it just...
Well, as far as I can tell, it's just kind of like it's more like a brand. It's more like Hammer horror, that kind of thing. But it includes such incredible... Oh, okay, so it's all based around the idea of different animals that then start eating people. So there's Blood Monkey, which is about man-eating monkeys. Maneater, which literally there's a film called Maneater, which is about man-eating Bengal tigers.
Alright.
Croc, which is about...
is that in that Killer Croc?
Yeah, that's in the Killer Croc little subsection on Wikipedia, which is about a man-eating saltwater crocodile. Eye of the Beast, about a man-eating giant squid. Grizzly Rage, can you guess what that is?
Bears.
Grizzly bear, man-eating grizzly bear. Hybrid, about man-eating wolves. There's a lot of these films. Swamp Devil, about a man-eating swamp monster. Here we are, Sand Serpents, which is about prehistoric, number 17 of 25. They've run out by 25 because they've got Ferocious 23 is Ferocious Planet, about man-eating beasts from a parallel dimension.
Right.
And 25 is about man-eating scarecrows.
Has it made you think of any other B movies that were great? I remember Eight-Legged Freaks, that was a good one.
Eight-Legged Freaks, underrated. David Arquette, Jamie Kennedy's co-star, of course.
And Doug E. Doug from Cool Runnings fame.
Nice.
Sanka. Yeah.
Well, and of course, a young Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, one of their first roles.
Yeah.
What exactly is that? Spider-Man.
Our town is being attacked by giant spiders.
They're here! They're here!
Warner Brothers Pictures presents
The biggest, nastiest mutant spider movie of all time. Get back, you eight-legged freaks!
But you don't think you get ones like that just at the cinema now? It just doesn't happen.
Eight-Legged Freaks was very much the last sort of
I
one.
can't think of anything
since,
apart from maybe Hunt for the Blood Orchid.
Hunt for the Blood Orchid, perhaps. Well, we were talking about how basically the only sort of movies that are worth going to see at the cinema.
Yeah.
People complain because there's so many big, stupid summer blockbusters now. But because it's so expensive, it's me just going on a little rant, but it's so expensive now to go to the cinema, it's only worth paying for a cinema ticket if it's something that you have to see at the cinema. So something like Avengers Age of Ultron, where it's worth worth going to see it for the spectacle. If you're going to go see
is it Danny Collins starring Al Pacino?
Yeah, if you're going to go see some Danish movie, that's 2 hours long, it's like, I'll just wait for it to come on DVD because I don't need to see it at the cinema. It's only worth paying for the spectacle. So, I don't know, I guess B movies kind of have spectacle, but these kind of
they just go straight to TV now.
People don't bother releasing them in cinemas because no one's going to go see them. So, Sci-Fi have kind of ruined, in a way. Sci-Fi's kind of the king of B movie TV movies, BTV movies, but they've also, because you can do them so quickly and so cheaply on television,
why bother
releasing them in the cinema, or even direct, as we were saying in the Freaky Franchises episode, why bother releasing them on DVD or anything, or because you can just do them on telly or on Netflix or whatever.
The only ones that will get to cinema are ones with a massive budget, like Cloverfield, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Cloverfield's a good example because it kind of was almost like a B movie. But kind of reinvented
serious, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't have much of a sense of humour, but it kind of reinvented the whole... I guess the closest thing you would get is these slightly schlocky horror movies. So something like, the Paranormal Activity series started out... Insidious. They started out as quite straight-laced and have since become, quite trashy and silly. But then that's a whole other episode we need to get into, where we look into sort of long-running horror movie franchises. I'll get onto that at some point.
Well, I'd say that's about it for this episode, all about Tremors. As ever, thanks very much for listening to our show and subscribing and all that stuff.
Yes, if you do want to subscribe, you can find the podcast on iTunes or go to the website where all our old episodes are. It's 2geeks2beers.wordpress.com.
And we're on Twitter as well, which is @2geekscast. What are we going to be talking about next time?
Next time, both of us will be taking a trip to the village. Yeah, we're going to be talking about The Prisoner.
Nice.
Next time, so look forward to that.
Awesome. Well, we'll leave you with a little song which was played in a big bit in the first Tremors film. I won't play all of it, but it's just a bit. Just for the name alone of the song, by Bobby Bear. It's called "Drop Kick Me Jesus."
Amazing.
So we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye bye.